Hi, my name is Dr. Jane Goldberg. Welcome to my show, Musings from 20th Street. I am a psychoanalyst, and I am the owner of La Casa de Spa, and I happen to believe in the efficacy of group therapy. So we are here today to have yet another group session, and we've been talking a lot about language and words and the importance of translating our inner life into words. So I thought I would talk today a little bit about voice, actual voice as opposed to words. So we've all been children. We've all had mothers. That's what we all have in common here. All of us actually that are alive on the planet have that in common, that we had mothers and that we were in the womb. So one of the interesting things about being in the womb is that we actually hear our mother's voice in the womb. And the voice, it ebbs and it flows, it's present, it's not present. And I think that it's in the experience of hearing our mother's voice that we have our first experience of separation. So even before biological birth, in these sounds and non-sounds, the appearance of the mother's voice and the disappearance of the mother's voice, we begin to experience what it means to be alone and what it means to be separate from our mother. So after birth, in fact, research shows that the mother's voice is the first sound that any infant prefers. After 2 hours, the infant will go to the mother's voice, and the infant will be attracted to the mother's voice even if after birth there's been virtually no communication between the mother and the infant, and so some months pass. The infant will still recognize the mother's voice. So it's pretty profound stuff, this acoustical kind of surround sound that the mother's voice gives to the developing fetus, and that it stays as a kind of muscle memory or brain memory in the baby after birth. So having said that, the importance of voice, actual voice, the experience and familiarity of voice, and the pain of separation from not hearing the voice, and I think the searching after that for this familiar voice to reconnect with the initial experience we had of mother in utero. Let's see where our group today wants to flow. Welcome, group.
Well, what you say is very
Mad. I'm angry. That's how I feel. At shut up from you, and at what is coming to be contentious and making fun, like little kids, you and I, somewhat, making fun. You think I'm making fun? I
you
wasn't.
have a shoe fetish, right?
I wasn't. I wasn't, but
No, you were.
no, I wasn't at first.
Her
And then it
boots.
came to that.
So,
Is this about the boots?
Walter, this is out of context. I think because the group has started, but I think that you're referring to a conversation that you and Barbara had when before we were on
You
air.
said shut up, save it for the group. Save it for the group.
I don't think she
No,
is. I think she'd rather talk about what she was
It's on.
talking
The
about.
feelings are going on inside me now.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted a context for all of us to understand what you're referring to. So,
Right.
so there was a conversation about Barbara's boots, and you said something that actually I think some people commented was quite a wonderful comment.
Right.
And I thought it was so good that I asked you to stop talking and save it for the group
My,
per se.
I was just responding to shut up, and
Right.
I felt like saying afangul to you.
Right.
Um,
My perception is that every time you do a little introduction to start maybe the 25th to the 26th group, my style is to be a little bit laid back and non-directive, but Barbara always seems to jump in first, and I think
I didn't jump in the first one.
you're responding to her initial verbalization, the first.
No, it's about the
That's
boots.
not about my boots, man.
No, I don't
Aren't you
think that's
listening?
the issue. I think
Yeah, but he's still relating.
I-
Paul is still relating.
I think the boot is the symptom and the symbol, but Barbara, you're not willing to lay back and maybe have somebody else initiate the first dialogue.
I feel like I'm on Pluto, okay? Why are we talking about my
Barbara didn't
boots?
say anything.
No,
I
no.
just said he looked like Michael Jackson after he
I
died
think
with
if-
the 2 socks and the
I
red
think if you
pants.
look at this session, slow motion,
I
the
don't
minute
know.
Dr. Jane stops, there's like a microsecond, and you verbalize first, and then Walter jumps in. And I just would like, as if Jane finished her sermon, I'm wondering what other people might. You always seem to go first, and I think that's.
I didn't get to go first today. I mean,
No,
it's your turn.
9 out of 10
It's your
times.
turn today, Mark. It's my turn.
No,
Well, you
but
sort
Paul-
of did. You sort of did.
Thank
You
you.
jump in there.
The crucifixion.
And-
Paul happens
You
to
did,
be
Barbara.
right.
You started first, and I interrupted.
Yeah, you only didn't go first because Walter jumped in
Well, it's true, but what's the
louder
problem?
and
Yeah,
more
what's the
vigorously.
problem? Why-
I mean, somebody's going to initiate something.
Yeah,
And
so
if you
I
start-
so
No,
really that I
it's up
never
to us
say
to
something?
initiate, Dee. I mean,
Okay,
it's,
but if it happens to be Barbara, then who gives a shit? I don't care.
I give a
I don't
shit
care
because
either.
it's
Well, then
bad
why don't you?
morale.
Well, then
But
jump
you'll give a
in.
freaking monologue, Paul.
Well, what's stopping you from interrupting at any point
Exactly.
if
You
you
give a
really feel
freaking
you want it?
monologue.
Me?
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
have.
if she
You're
starts
auditioning.
and you
I
and you
have.
have something important to
I
you,
think
you don't have
it's
to
too
wait.
easy for us to lay back and always let Barbara
It
initiate.
might be. But
So,
somebody
Dee,
needs to-
I
Why
think
did, I have a question for you, Paul.
Sure.
Why does Barbara trigger you so much?
To trigger a
Well,
lot.
do you wanna know?
I
She
did.
has that karma. Yeah.
I think I tried to answer that. Maybe you weren't here.
I probably
Molly.
was, but
Yeah,
it
you
seems to
were.
be a constant.
Okay, let me answer then, okay?
Okay.
All right. My philosophical orientation as a father, as a college professor, as a therapist,
go.
is to be.
No, you always talk
No,
about
no,
your
that was
resume.
Barbara.
It's always the
Barbara.
resume.
Barbara. Excuse me.
I'm answering
That
the
was
question.
hostile.
It
Well,
is
he's
hostile.
We are not here to be hostile to each other. And he's not being hostile. He's trying to answer Molly's
Yeah.
question.
I think that it's important sometimes for people to grow in a climate that allows for them to express themselves. And I think if we've heard anything from each of ourselves, we've all come from kind of damaging, abusive, controlling relationships. And part of the controlling relationship is one in which the other person dominates over the other person. So I think in the spirit of healing in the therapeutic community, and a highlight of this group was 3 sessions ago, we were in a therapeutic family. We were listening, we were caring, and in particular to Barbara, we were very concerned about her mom, and I think she had a breakthrough. So I think it's important that when Dr. Jane initiates an introduction, that we kind of lay back and maybe we have the patience and the empathy to hear from somebody we haven't heard from. And I'm hoping part of Barbara's growth might be that she can learn to listen more, because I think that's an important quality for listening and empathy, that we can all learn those skills. I hope I'm answering the question.
I
Molly.
still feel like you're slightly codependent. I.e., your happiness is based on whether or not you can control
Well,
her
you know,
behavior.
that's
Wait a
what-
second,
Let
I'm
her
speaking.
finish.
And if she's going to behave the way how she's going to behave, and like out in the real world, we have no control over other people's behavior.
I know, but
We
sometimes it
actually
affects
do.
us. What can we do?
We can be enablers and collaborators with behavior that isn't very functioning, or we can try to
It's
address
not exactly
the issue.
control, it's
But, okay.
influence.
Can I
Right.
just say something? Do you think that your comments actually help her?
No.
Well, God helps them to help themselves. I think we've gone over this theme over and over again, and it's a predominating theme.
Well, it just.
I'd like to hear more from you. I'd like to hear what you'd like to get out of it.
Paul's point actually has theoretical validity. One of the rules of group is that everybody take their portion of the talking time and that it be relatively evenly distributed. It doesn't have to be evenly distributed every session, so one person may be really working through something in one session and gets a lot of attention, but overall it
But
evens
does it matter
itself
who
out.
initiates it, though? Does it matter who initiates
It apparently matters to
Apparently
Paul,
matters to Paul.
but it
Yeah.
apparently does not matter to
I wouldn't
you.
care if he opened it every
Excuse
time.
me,
I don't care if he-
D, it apparently does not matter to you, D, that it matters to Paul.
Which is interesting.
Not really.
Maybe he likes what I have to say.
I just think it needs to get going somehow,
Yeah,
and
and
if
I
she
vote
doesn't,
for
then
both.
we know how she is, so we have to butt in. and-
Okay, so you have
Take
a
it as a
vote,
route.
you have a vote, Paul has a vote too.
Absolutely.
I don't care who starts, as long as I get my share.
You got yours. You just got your share.
Well, there'll be more.
I want to know
But I-
why you were so offended that she said "shut up" to you.
Because he hates shh. You know, that's his.
It's
Oh, that's
not
your
something that
deal.
upsets you.
Oh, that's right.
When anybody says "shut up" to me, I'm likely to react with that. I don't like being controlled, and I've
But she's a
grown up
dictator.
emotionally as much as I have in primal therapy, which promotes people, having their feelings. Not that there are no times when there's
That's
more,
est.
should I say, civil interaction that happens, but
You're right.
of having people's feelings.
You're right, Walter. Shut up is an unacceptable. Someone.
It's better than.
I don't
using
mind
it.
It's
it as
rude.
long as it can be agreed that I have the right to respond with my feelings.
You absolutely
Right.
do,
Well, thank you.
and I appreciate that you did that.
Well, I appreciate the latitude.
I did have
I'm a person who has, in a lot of situations, responded directly to anger, like with "fuck you" or "fangul," or other comments, in a number of situations in my life.
Fangul I've never heard
That's
before.
Italian for fuck
Oh.
you.
Oh, okay.
I think it's
Scheißkopf
done
is
with a
shit
V,
out in German,
fangul.
if anybody
So
else knows
I'm
that.
not now fluent in Italian. Okay, good.
German.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I
either.
don't. Another rule. The rule about rules in group analysis is that the rules don't get told what they are until you break them. So another rule in group analysis is that we don't curse.
Oh, well, I've been working
Don't
that rule
curse.
since day one.
We don't curse.
We're doing a lot of that.
I know. I should have said that rule
Are
a
you
little while
kidding me?
ago.
We don't.
Since day one.
That's true.
There's been tons of
Now, why
cursing.
why don't we do that? Because we're not here, Walter. You'll like this. I know you disagree with this. We're not here for the pure sake of discharge. We're here to translate our internal lives into language. And so, when you say "fuck you," you're saying a lot about. Clearly, something is happening internally that's very powerful for you. You're feeling really angry. You feel like killing the person. You feel like that you wish they would disappear.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
feel like you'd like to help them disappear
Punch him out.
Yeah.
yeah. So all of that, when you just say "fuck you" and you don't elaborate what the real psychic experience is for you, you bypass all that. And in bypassing it, it doesn't get integrated. It's
I
not
can
digested.
elaborate. I could elaborate in a situation. I
Yes.
just want to have the
So I
feeling.
invite- I
And it's-
invite you
and
to
Your
elaborate
first statement is
first.
compatible with what the rest of your spiel there was. It's not purely for discharge. I don't want necessarily just pure discharge with no elaboration, with no
Okay.
verbal
But it's
insight.
also hostile. When you say "fuck you" to someone else, it's hostile, and we are not rule number 3. We've got 3 rules in 5 minutes already.
Can you say
We're
fuck
not,
you and then say why you're saying
No, we are not here to be hostile to each other. We are here to have
Right,
our
I
feelings.
agree.
There's hostility going on all over the
For
place.
this many episodes, this is the first time I've ever heard you
That's
say
right, you've never
that we
said that
couldn't
from
curse.
day one.
Yes, I know.
Lana was
After
all
this
over me.
many
Hello.
fucking episodes.
I've been really neglectful
Yes.
as an analyst.
I mean,
by not-
Lana was
That's
hostile
amazing
to
to
me
me.
every day
Can
she
we-
was here.
And I called
Barbara
her
was
on it,
hostile
too.
to me with the making fun.
listen,
and
but
she
this
might
is-
have taken my. I was hostile to her.
amazing.
I got to it with the thing about cartoon because I wanted to
You've
get
been
back at
hostile the
her.
whole
I know,
show.
silly.
But I want to say that I know Carol really understands this, because Carol really wants politeness and wants
I do too.
people to be sensitive to each other.
Yeah.
She said that.
As long as we
in
don't
the
say it
past.
towards somebody, can we just say, and we're talking, we just say fuck? I mean, we can say that.
It's
can't
an
we?
Anglo-Saxon word,
Can
and
we
there are
do that?
25
We can't even do that.
definitions. of
No,
fuck.
D,
Well,
you cannot.
even do that.
Well, if we ever get
Yeah.
on network TV,
Well, then
it'll
we
be
can't.
blipped out.
Then we'll be on Howard Stern.
The what?
Well, so you might as
and
well
also,
learn.
I find that obscenity shows a lack of ingenuity.
It does.
I like
Right.
that.
We don't always have to be
Psychological-
ingenuous. Why do we have to be
Psychologist-
ingenious?
Oh, please, I'm not the
We can be
queen.
ingenious when we're ingenious, and we can
Walter-
be simple,
Because,
back to
Wally, when you
roots,
get-
back to animal when we need it.
I had more hopes for you. I thought you were more of an intellectual.
I am
you can't
intellectual.
tell.
I am intellectual. I think I'm pretty good with my intellect because I can separate and have the animal part of me.
Molly, it's because you know when you get angry,
Well,
you,
my
you
animal
don't think
show.
straight. So those kind of words
My animal
are, like
comes
you
out.
said, the easiest mentally.
They are.
They're the ones that come out because your anger keeps you from processing.
I have
You know,
had
you
so
have to-
many.
Yeah. Correct, Kay, and Walter says he wants the animal in him. And yes, we can't escape the animal in us. It's part of, we're hardwired to be that
I'm a
animal.
cougar.
But we are human also, and we have a neocortex and we have language. And so the point is that the animal in us gets translated into the human in us.
Right.
And that's what makes it really, we become really interesting
A lot of
I'm not gonna hear
therapists.
very much from you
Animals,
anymore 'cause I
then.
say fuck all the time.
I say fuck, yeah, and my therapists have said to
Actually,
me that
really.
getting
I kinda
cursing is better than punching a hole in the
noticed
wall,
that.
which a lot of people would do.
Yeah.
They would literally.
We're in
take
the
it
group,
out.
He
though.
does it
We're in the
Cursing is
group.
better than punching
Unless the
a...
wall is dispensable, or
someone
unless it's a
else.
cat or
Cursing
something.
is better than a hole in the wall, and
Or
language
punching
is better,
someone
and
out.
language is better than cursing.
Unless the
It
wall,
That is language.
unless the wall is dispensable, or you have a hard table or a pillow that's meant
How fast do you want to heal?
receive
Why do
hostility,
we do the
like
psychology
in the physical
of
way.
curse words? Why do people use curse words? Because it beats taking your violence out on a physical.
Because
Yes.
the anger,
level.
the
Because it
anger prevents
designated
you from
as
thinking
forbidden.
straight enough to
Yes.
explain what's
But
going on.
this
And
is-
explaining-
Reminds you.
And
Yeah.
explaining
Reminds
what
you.
is going on
We need
is
both.
the
Crazy
better
person.
alternative, and Carol's going to tell us why.
Yeah.
We need all of the above.
Go ahead, Carol. Go for
Okay.
it.
Well, to me, I do curse, and I enjoy cursing, but I don't do it when I'm mad at somebody. Like I would never say "fuck you," but I do say "fuck, I'm gonna be late," or "this is fucking beautiful." You know, like I do cuss.
It sounds
But
polite from
I
her.
would never say, "fuck you." It's just too mean.
Yeah.
I think it's too
It
mean.
is mean.
It's too mean.
Although I think we should give her permission to say that. Just
So this is New
as-
York City, and you
It's-
better
yeah,
learn
you
how
better
to do
learn
that.
how to-
If
yeah.
you
It
want
would
to
be
get
healing for
negotiate
you.
things
That's
in
right.
the city with people,
You got-
better
fuck
learn to
you
do that.
is the word
Otherwise,
to
you're
do
gonna run.
it.
She has
smell
permission-
blood. Sorry.
I
She
think-
has permission to do anything
I
she
feel
wants
entitled-
outside of this room. In this room, she doesn't have
I
permission.
understood.
Well, even outside the room, I feel entitled to be able to say that to somebody, but I never would. I never said it in the throes of a painful divorce. I don't talk like that. And I feel like such an old
fine.
woman prude on several fronts. Here, I'm starting
you
to
are.
today. And also, I happen to work at a strip club 4 nights a week.
What?
I've never shared that.
I do too. I work with her.
And do y'all strip?
Oh, you
What do you
strip?
do?
And she does make.
Oh, I thought you strip. I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
I
You
do
strip
have
all the
strippers
time
and
at
stuff.
strip
I
clubs.
did hair there for a long time.
They
and then I-
screw at strip
There's
clubs.
nothing wrong with that.
Don't they?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
What do you
they
do? Do you strip?
I-
Whatever.
I haven't been to one, guys, other than Chippendales, and
And
that's
how would
gone,
you know?
so.
Most of the
Oh,
time I've
Chippendales
worked
is
there, I've
different.
done hair, but recently I started doing makeup.
What
But
kind
I
of
feel like
hair?
such an old woman prude because all the girls that come in
They're tough.
are either coked up or
That's
they
right.
argue
They're
or
tough
they
girls.
fights or, some of them are darling until they start drinking or get high, and then they turn into really
Bitches.
mean girls.
They got street
you know.
smarts. Yeah, you got them.
And it's like,
It's a jungle.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm feeling like, I don't know. I feel like,
I'm shocked. I'm in
There's
shock.
nothing wrong with it.
No, I'm
no,
shocked.
I don't feel like there's anything wrong with the strip club, and I don't judge the girls, honestly. But I am starting to feel like, like they'll share things with him, and then when I come in the room, you can tell they change the subject.
You come off like Betty White, though. Very pure.
Yeah, that's why.
You know what I'm
they
saying?
smell blood.
That's
they want,
okay.
You know what, Carol? Those girls.
They love her though.
They
They're
smell
like-
blood.
no.
You know, and
Yeah,
when they
no,
send
they
somebody
do.
that's not going to fight them,
Yeah.
they just swirl around
My
you
mother was
waiting
an
for that
exotic
moment
dancer,
where they can
trust
just.
me.
Well, no,
Get
but
in
like I
there.
work with guys on a crew, and if I show up and the guys don't know me, they all clean it up, and I'm
Guys
like,
are different.
well, I'm just saying
Oh,
that
is it?
they
A group of
relax.
Group of guys is very
Standard.
different than a group of.
Oh, come on, the
girls.
double
Well, but I don't
standard
think
should
that
be
they
gone
would-
already because you're a
She doesn't
woman.
look like a victim, and I think they're just embarrassed, don't you think?
I think they see me. They know I have 5 kids, and they see me as the mom they never had.
They're all girls,
Some of
right?
them
Some
Yeah.
of them see me as a mom or a
No.
grandmother, probably.
So it's a it's a sign of respect for you.
Sometimes
You're
it
like a
is.
madam.
Not at all.
do. She's not.
Well, a
have a
madam
house
is sort of a
mom. There's a
mother.
house mom.
Yes, it is,
A mother,
Barbara.
yeah, a
Can
madam is a
can we
mother.
hear
Yeah,
from Carol?
that's how they
And I
get
would
the
never
girls
want
because
to
all
be
of
a
them are
madam.
been motherless, and
Right,
they use that
exactly.
maternal thing
Yeah, true.
to bring girls into a situation.
That's how they get into
like that.
prostitution.
Absolutely,
Because they have that
absolutely.
madam, oh, you're
Carol,
the mother.
do you have daughters?
Absolutely.
Yes,
I think
five.
you said you had about. So obviously, as a mother, as a parent, you weren't caustic and swearing. You were nice with your
No,
language
I do swear a lot. I enjoy swearing. I think it's fun.
in front of your daughters.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they do. Well, the youngest one has never said a
I
cuss
would
word in
love
her
to
life,
hear
and she's
that.
21.
Right.
But all the others cuss, but it's not like an anger release of anger. It's just like, oh my God, wait till you see what I'm gonna do. You know, I mean, you know, they'll cuss as they're talking.
Like, look at my fucking
Celebrating or-
dress or something.
Or, oh my God, I'm fucking hot. Look at this. You know, I mean, yeah, they'll cuss, but it's not offensive to me.
Because
I don't
it's
think
not-
It is to them. It's not. a
It's not
disrespectful thing.
using language as a weapon.
Right.
And what you object to
Right.
is using language as a weapon.
Yeah.
Uh,
But then I do feel like a weenie because when I used to drive before I moved to this city, I'd be driving along and I'd say, oh my God, did you see that? You know, that bitch totally cut me off, you know? And
Whoa.
I do kind of name call behind backs. I would never call the woman, if the windows were down, I would never say, you bitch, you just cut me off, never.
Don't you think
Well,
you would
that's
But
feel
if the
better?
windows closed, no, I wouldn't feel better. That's the difference.
That's what
Is
passive.
that the way your mother brought you
That
up?
is passive
Passive
aggressive. I
aggressive
agree with
behavior.
you. That is, and I choose that. I
Right.
embrace that because I hate confrontation. I don't want to. And I know that I'm the bitch that cuts some people off sometimes too.
Oh.
You know, I'm late. Oh shit, I gotta get over. You know, so I would drive like that and talk. You know, it was kind of like road rage, but not.
So the passive aggressive
Rage.
would make it really difficult for someone to know where they stood with you.
Yeah, because you don't say what you're thinking.
Right.
And
So
if you don't
you-
allow yourself to get angry, and cursing is a part of getting
You
angry.
can say something
I don't
behind
know
my
for
back
me.
and
With or without cursing, I
doubt
believe
you'd
in
say, "Oh, I do
confrontation.
that, though. You might say something behind
With or
my
without
back.
cursing,
Oh,
I believe in
constantly.
confrontation.
We don't know.
Well,
I think people should confront each other with what their feelings,
Well, you
whether
know,
it's
the
a
funny thing to
hostile
me-
or a loving situation.
With confrontation, I have seen that there is an advantage to confrontation, even in this group. For example, I think that D has been kind of hard on K. And before the end of the session, K turned around. I felt he had you wrapped around his little finger. He, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
he's very
didn't want him to
manipulative.
be mad at you.
I
Right.
felt
He
that
said
last
stuff
time.
that hurt your
Yeah.
feelings. He pissed
Yeah.
you off.
Right.
But because he just threw it out there, and then you go, well, Dee, I didn't want it to be like that. You know, let's be friends, kind of
Right, right.
conversation.
Why do you have that
But it
soft
wasn't
Yet when
spot?
I said to you, hey, Kate, don't
However.
put your hand on me, like to push me back. I'll sit
Yeah,
back.
she got angry
You
at
were
you.
so pissed at
That's
me.
right, yeah.
And I didn't say, get your fucking hands off of me, bitch. You know, I didn't go there.
No, that would be
didn't do
my
that
line.
I would never go there. I like you too much to go there in it would never cross my mind.
But how do we
So
know
you're-
you're not talking about us behind your back? Because people who don't are not outright confrontational
point.
to somebody like directly might go behind someone's back, and then we think you like us, but then you're really saying something, and you can't be trusted. Because there are a lot of people that are very quiet that you can't trust, and we were talking about
I
that.
am quiet on purpose sometimes. I'm so non-confrontational. I don't want to start a fight. I don't want to go there.
But do you talk, like, say, like, if anything happens in the group, do you talk about us behind our backs and we don't hear what you're saying? You might curse us out behind your our backs. We don't know.
No, I might think that somebody was rude to me or think that somebody was attacking me unnecessarily. I didn't understand it. And
Like, for instance, how did you feel about Kay when that incident happened?
it hurt my feelings and it concerned me about you, honestly. Like, what was really going on that day? You know, and thinking back, there were like 10 to 15, bams to me. And I didn't feel like I solicited that, I didn't understand how you went there. I mean, why it was so serious. And just like on public transportation and subways, you have to, what you were saying really struck me, Molly, when you were saying, you can't change how Barb is. You have to just accept things about people. You can't just say, hey, quit breathing on me, quit coughing on me, quit shoving me, you just have to sit there and take it, or get up and move. You can't ask
Right.
them
No.
to move or shove them.
No.
You can't, you have to let people
This-
be who they are.
This is all about change. We
It's not
come
always
to
that
a-
simple.
We
You don't
come
change
to, we come to a
overnight.
group and we go to the individual work to change.
You don't change
We don't go
overnight.
there to stay the same. Implicit in coming to a group is to change towards something. So I don't buy into this inevitable no change phenomena.
I
It
never
doesn't
said-
happen overnight.
I never
Paul.
said
You're
that-
in business.
Paul,
Magic can happen overnight.
No,
and-
darling.
It's
Paul.
possible, but
Certain
more of the
things
time it's going
Paul,
to be
should be happening.
can I respond to that?
Bullshit.
Sure.
I'm not
That's
saying
just
that
possible,
you don't.
not likely.
You're not going to
Not
change.
Not likely.
But your efforts are not going to change Barbara.
You
I
shouldn't
have
make
to
that
wanna
interpretation, Molly. You shouldn't create a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's your perception. It's not
How
an-
about my perception? You're talking about
We've heard
me.
your perception.
No, you're
We
you're
have.
talking about me
If-
in the room.
So
in the
basically,
room.
you're saying that you're only going to be happy if you can change Barbara's behavior.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we should all work towards a climate of helping each other grow in a direction that by now we get in some sense what would be helpful.
Well, I
to
think
the other
Kay
person.
and
But what
I
happens
have
if she
grown.
doesn't
Our
wanna change?
relationships have grown.
Well, then
Oh,
we
yeah.
can verbalize to Barbara the way I did, the way I think Walter was doing, that right off the mark, she jumps off the mark like in track as the first one to respond.
So what?
And I think
But-
you're jumping off track before the gun even
But
goes
the thing
off.
is that who
So
cares
what?
about Barbara?
He's
How
just
does that make
expressing
you
that. It doesn't
feel?
have to affect you.
It makes me feel that I'm in the group that the morale could be withered down.
But
And
do
I
you,
said
are you
that in the-
angry? Like, come on,
I'm
tell us what you
disappointed.
feel.
More
You're-
direct. I'm more
I'm-
direct
you keep
emotion.
theorizing.
You're not listening. I'm disappointed, and I think we can do better. And we're all
Disappointed.
responsible for doing
But
better,
we, what's on the
including you.
we?
Yeah, you're putting everyone here
It's
so far doesn't
it's
agree with you.
theoretical. It's not
Well, how
personal.
many people you think
It's
do
more
it,
in your
though?
head and less
wait,
emotionally
wait.
connected. Disappointed.
I would like.
was good.
I would like us to not be a free for all. I would like us to be respectful. That when one person talks, that we actually listen to the other person instead of just trying to talk over, louder, and overpower.
I object to that at this point, at this particular
Walter,
one.
Walter, I want to go back to. I want to see if I understand what Carol said about Kay. I think that what you said is that Dee's overt aggression got Kay to back down, and
Well, more
You're-
than that, it was a positive, happy thing. I think Kay really came around and
I have to say something.
Go ahead.
Well, I didn't attack her just to attack her.
Oh, I
didn't do that.
know, I
It was a
know.
constructive thing that I felt like Kate, I felt like we connected at that point, and then I think that she got it. So when you just mentioned
Got
a minute
what?
ago
Got what?
what I was saying, there
Our
were a couple of
interaction,
counts,
whatever
a couple of
interaction
things.
it was.
But there was something that you said about me about being manipulative. Did you feel manipulated into being nicer to me?
No, I didn't feel that way. I mean, I was interested that was a perception, so that
Wait, I
maybe
didn't
it's a
use the word
possibility.
manipulate.
No,
No, well,
you
you said
did.
like around
Oh,
his
you
finger, yeah. So I'm not. I'm trying to figure out if I was. I haven't
Okay.
decided yet.
Okay.
I think
I
maybe you
think-
have something there, but I'm not sure what it is.
I think she was
I'm
she was
gonna-
saying that you had an unconscious response to Dee that
Yes.
you kind of roll over and play dead a little bit if you sense that there's too much aggression coming at you.
No,
that
I
you-
don't think it's aggression. It's that I have a lot of respect for Dee, and my respect
But-
keeps increasing, like session by session.
Why is that?
And sometimes I just think he has an ability because he works with Barbara very, very well. And I think just
Well, we like
sometimes he
each
has
other.
just
We have
a
a
new
bit of a
intuitive ability to refocus a person.
So
And I can't imagine, Dee, how anybody in this world would want to leave you or not want to be with you.
Oh,
Or
sweet.
you know what I mean? I really, I mean, it just blows my
Whoa.
mind. Because if this is any
That's what I love
indication,
about him, though. He's so honest.
if this is any indication
Wow.
of how you
you really moved the guy. We're going to have to stop with Dee being really moved.
We worship you, or some of us worship you. I worship the ground you walk upon.
It's the
Dee.
truth.
Wow, Dee,
One of my defenders here.
this is really an emotional moment. We've never seen Dee like this.
Yes, we have.
Thank you. Thank you, group.
Thank you.